In this video, we'll be discussing Charlie's Angels. Is this a revolutionary film in an age of women empowerment? Or is it just a fun action flick with some sexy spy ladies, a hot assassin, and Patrick Stewart? Maybe it's a little bit of both. Let's get into it! All the women independent, throw your hands up at me! What's up, guys? Welcome to Chicks Watchin' Flicks. I'm Holly.
I'm Mandy Lee Thompson.
And I'm Katie Lee.
And today, we are reviewing Charlie's Angels, 2019 edition. When a young systems engineer, Naomi Scott, blows the whistle on a dangerous technology, Charlie's Angels are called into action, putting their lives on the line to protect us all. Oh my gosh.
Girl power.
Such girl power. Girls, this movie is 1 hour and 58 minutes, rated PG-13. Overall opinions, let's get to it. Mand?
I love any Charlie's Angels, I do. It was so much fun. I didn't have much expectations for too high expectations for this, because I'm not the biggest fan of Kristen Stewart.
Not the biggest fan.
And also, we'll get into that later. And also, I really loved the Lucy Liu, Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz Charlie's Angels. I loved that. And I was like, why do they have to remake it? They're just going to ruin it.
I know.
It was better than what I expected. I liked it. I enjoyed myself. We had a really good time. It was a fun movie.
Yeah. Kate, what'd you think?
Looking back at the old franchise of our generation, again to go off Mandy with Lucy Liu and Drew Barrymore, blah, blah, blah. I loved that movie, but now if I were to go back to watch that movie, I'd probably be like, meh. This is the new generation for today, and I think later on, people who watch it, they're probably going to think like, oh, this is awesome, and then like years later, they're going to be like, oh, it's just okay.
Right.
And so this movie was just okay.
It's okay. Let's talk about acting! Our favorite segment. So we have some people to touch on. Let's just, talk about the elephant in the room here. Okay, Kristen Stewart. Let's get to it. Mand, give us the short version backstory.
All right. Okay. So, long story short, I have been a longtime anti-fan of Kristen Stewart ever since she starred in my original movie, The School of Overacting. Anyway, usually the only way I think you can get any emotion out of Kristen Stewart, Rachel said this, is if the director's holding a piece of meat behind the camera and she's like that's the only way, enticing her to eat. That's really awful and mean, and I'm sorry. But it's good news. She was great in this movie. And I was so mad. She was so funny. Yeah. She was witty. And I don't know if it was that she was good or this was just such a good character for her. It was comical. She never plays comic.
Girls, it was the haircut. Let's be honest. That character was all about the haircut. And she rocked it. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed her comedic timing. I couldn't believe it, honestly. I was like, who is this person in front of me on the screen? Kristen Stewart? Let me check my playbill. What is going on? Kate, Kristen Stewart?
Yes. So Kristen Stewart was actually surprisingly really good in this movie because she said in an interview that she basically just had to be herself. So there was no acting involved. She was just herself. So therefore, when she has to play a character, she stinks, but when she's herself, she's awesome.
The newcomer to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ella Balinska.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm saying that right, girl. I'm sorry.
She'll write you personally if you weren't.
She was so fresh. Loved her on the screen, and she was beautiful and kick-ass. You kept saying it. She was so badass.
She is a star in my eyes,
yeah.
And she has a stage combat background, and I believe did so many of her stunts, which we'll get into later, but she stole the show for me.
Absolutely, I agree. I think she stole the show. And she's so fierce and serious most of the film, but that makes her funny moment that she has with her little crush, her nerdy crush. It's not a spoiler.
It's always a spoiler with you.
That little comic moment she has is so much more delightful and
Yeah.
surprising because of all of her seriousness throughout the rest of the movie.
And now let's talk about Naomi Scott, who I cannot get Aladdin out of my head. I'm sorry. And then she forgot about Aladdin.
I didn't even know she was Jasmine.
She forgot about she was Jasmine, and she remembered her as Kimberly from Power Rangers.
Which Elizabeth Banks was also in. They
You're
probably
right.
met. She
You're
was
right.
Rita Repulsa.
You're right.
Which I watched the night before.
I watched you watch it.
Yeah.
Yes. Guys, I'm going to use my word here. She was a little bit extra.
Extra.
A little extra. I thought she was great.
I had no idea.
You identified with her.
Yeah.
Because you're extra.
I'm definitely we cast ourselves. I'm her in the movie.
Yep.
You're
I'm Ella Balinska.
Yep, and Katie's Kristen Stewart.
Quick standout moments that I have to mention. Guys, the assassin. Okay, the assassin.
The rose tattoo up his neck.
He was on fire. He was so hot. He had no lines. He had one line. I'm sorry. He had
And
one
what was his line?
And I loved it. He was so hot. He wears a suit. That suit does not wear him. Ladies, wait till you see it. That suit is custom.
I have never seen Patrick Stewart do a bad job in acting.
Ooh.
He is a star, and I just was not about it in this one.
Like when he was in X-Men, we didn't think he was bad.
No.
And did you see a difference in this film?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just the way the movie was edited or...
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the edit, yeah. Girls! Yes! Let's talk technicals. Cinematography, writing, makeup, costumes, everything in between. Let's get to it. Man, what do you want to talk about?
I think that my comment falls under the category of continuity, and there were moments in the movie, at least 3, that a sound would come out of nowhere or something, or a voice, and I wouldn't know where or who it was coming out of. And so, for example, they're in a cafe in one scene, and there's a fight and a gun, and you hear out of nowhere, "That's my gun." And I don't know where it came from. Why are you guys laughing at me?
I wonder why.
It's so confusing.
It was so confusing.
There was one part at the beginning, the helicopter moment.
yeah.
The
Jeez.
CGI was just like, oh, come on, guys. Millions of dollars.
I didn't notice.
It was kind of stinky
No.
sometimes. A lot of the action sequences were really good when you knew they were doing them for real and they weren't CGI'd. Really good action sequences with the car chases and everything like that. The soundtrack to this movie was so bumpin'.
Well, you could thank Ariana Grande. For
Yeah,
Oh.
Ariana on point. Every time a song came on, almost I was like,
The hand-to-hand combat was impeccable. I was just blown away. I also want to touch on the writing with Elizabeth Banks. I said it before, but I think she does a really good job at developing her characters and their relationships. You could tell it's typical Elizabeth Banks humor. If you've seen Pitch Perfect, some of it landed for me and some of it didn't.
yeah. Costumes!
Yes, the costumes were awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I really appreciated, I don't think this is giving anything away, but they brought in some elements of the older,
The 70s.
Loved it.
the older, the previous movies.
in the
some
closet.
cameos of costumes and it was nostalgic for me.
Girls, what would you give this movie as a rating? On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Mand?
I would give it 3.6.
I'm gonna give it a solid 3.
I'm gonna give it a 4. What'd you give it?
3.6.
I'm going to give it a 3.65. Cause I'm a bad girl.
Bad girls. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
No. Would we recommend you to see this movie?
Yes.
Heck yes.
It's so much fun.
Go see this movie. Go with your girlfriends. Bring your boyfriends. There's some good eye candy. Whatever. It's gonna be a good time. Girls, the assassin Get ready for it. Comment below when you see it. I want to talk about the assassin.
She needed extra napkins.
Oh, for all the butter on her popcorn. This girl put so much. What?
I don't think.
Too soon?
Too soon?
She puts too much butter on her popcorn.
All right, guys, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in to Chicks Watching Flicks. Make sure you go subscribe and hit that little notification bell and comment below. Did you see it? Are you seeing it? What did you think? And let us know what movies you want us to see. Maybe we'll review it and give you a shout out. I'm Holly.
I'm Mandy Lee Thompson.
And I'm Katie Lee.
We will see you next time. Woo!